I think everybody does. I bought an amiibo on Etsy.
Oh,
I'm getting into it, dude. Like I wanted this character, and I think I spent like, no joke, like 87 Nook Miles tickets on it, and I could not find this character, so I just said screw it. I'm just buying
nice.
the amiibo.
Yeah.
I'm done spending my in-game currency. Let me give you real-life money for this character.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I definitely cheated my way through Animal Crossing. It's like the best way to play it.
I time traveled until I could, start building my own shit again.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's kick this off. So,
yeah, anyone that's tuning in for the first time, if you haven't seen our many posts, we're doing the Lazy Watchers.
Yes. It's a fun little series.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I cut you off, and then I was like, I probably should keep talking. It's a fun little series where we go ahead and watch either television shows, or in the future we'll watch movies as well. And we kind of do it our own way. So we watch the very first episodes of the pilot episode, and then either the season, like the most up-to-date season, or the series finale. And we don't watch anything in between. Yeah. So gives us no context on what's actually going on. People think that it like ruins the plot for us, but it actually really doesn't, because a lot of the times I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the show we watched this week, I was very confused. Also for our audio listeners later on, or our YouTube watchers, we are live streaming on Facebook. If you're not, if you haven't liked the page or following the page, go do that. Sometimes we'll go live. It won't always be just for the episode. It'll be for like other stuff too. If you're in the chat, we can definitely talk to you lifetime. That'd be fun. But yeah, definitely, come on by, follow the page. You'll get notified when we go live. You can come hang out with us. Be a part of the recording.
We'll answer your questions. We'll do whatever. So
yeah.
Not whatever. That makes it sound like it's OnlyFans.
We'll do whatever you want.
I'm just sharing this to my own page really quick, and then we can get started.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So this week, we went to a Netflix show, per always, because Netflix is BBG, baby girl.
Netflix rules the fucking world.
So we watched a show called Glitch, and I realized...
What a dream.
I realized starting the first episode, I was like, oh, I've seen this first episode before. It looks very familiar. And that's all that I had watched of that.
Oh, no. So, this was actually originally on air in Australia. So that's fun. It's about a sheriff who essentially, like, his entire life gets turned upside down once 5 or 6 people who were pronounced dead come back to life.
I don't even remember. I wasn't taking notes, but shut up, Dan. I got a real job. Don't you even worry about that.
Get a real job, Eli.
I got a real job. I believe it was I think it was 5. I think it was 5 people in episode 1.
On IMDb it says 6, so I'm assuming there's another character that we probably miss in that second episode.
Yeah, or like one of the ones that we saw in that last episode.
Definitely. So this show had a very cold open to like murdering a dog, and I had an issue with that.
Yeah.
Just straight up shot a Rottweiler because it ate a sheep. And I was like, wow. You didn't have to kill the dog, Nancy.
Yeah, it seemed like a bit much to open up with. Just, calling the sheriff, being like, I can't do it. And then he comes over, he's like,
right.
People loved you, dog. and then shot him in the face.
Shot him in the face, which is like so rude because we didn't need to.
So rude.
Okay, Eli,
So rude.
they killed the dog. So rude. And a Rottweiler of all, like that's like my dream dog. Like I want a Rottweiler so bad that
Right.
like so dumb that we had to kill the dog. James, that's the name of the main character, the sheriff.
Right. Right.
In my notes, I pretty much just said like 5 zombie mud people come up from the grave. Like I don't
Zombie
even know.
mud people. It was very confusing.
It was a cold open, dude. Like we literally murdered a dog, and then there's like a bunch of muddy, naked people standing in a cemetery and screaming.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was,
the kid filming too.
yeah,
Very 21st century.
Yes, definitely. Like I'm not gonna help these women that are crying for help. I'm just gonna film them with my iPhone.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a new grading scale. So before we get too far ahead, opening credits. It's actually really cool now that you kind of know the plot. Dead people come back to life. So the opening credits, kind of like a creepy, like very dramatic song with dead flowers coming back to life. Thought it was pretty cool.
I thought it was pretty cool. We're grading these 1 to 10. So
Yeah.
obviously 1 being the worst, 10 being the best.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
gave it a 7.
A 7. I gave it an 8 just because I thought it was very artistic and fun. So
It was
we're
very
pretty much
short.
on the same page. Very short.
That's
Which also
kind of why
baller.
well, yeah, yes and no. I kind of like the longer ones because I like seeing what they do with it. Not like super long, but like long enough. It was my thing where it's like I started the episode as I was like sitting down, and I didn't realize. It just jumped right in. Like I didn't realize that it was just gone. I like had to backtrack to see what the intro was.
Okay.
Because I was
Fair.
just confused. I was like, wait, what did I miss?
Yeah, it's definitely longer than like we talked about Grey's Anatomy last week. It's definitely longer than like the Grey's like really quick like flash of the name of the show, and then that's it.
Yeah. No, true. Grey's is instant.
Instant, and then it kind of rolls the credits as we go on. Eli, you can finally grow facial hair. Welcome to puberty, buddy.
You clearly haven't been watching the
Daniel.
YouTube videos. I've been watching. I've been growing this out for a while, pal.
He's lying to you, Daniel.
It wasn't overnight.
He's lying to you. Okay,
This guy in our chat's a schmuck. Get him out of here.
No, keep heckling Eli. I like it. So I had questions.
Okay.
With the plot of the show. So, and I feel like if we continue to watch, which I don't know if I'm going to, we can get to that later. How did the bodies stay perfectly preserved? If like they just were supposed to like raise from the dead all of a sudden. So then that tells me that we definitely have some like witchcraft and magic and like nonsense shenanigans going on, which I'm totally here for.
Right. It was weird, right? Because they were like, some of these people died in like the 1800s, and they're coming out of the ground like they were just buried last week.
Yeah, and that's what was kind of odd. So that was definitely kind of my main question throughout the entire thing, because we had people from like the 1800s, and then we had somebody that died as recently as like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I just want to know the science behind that.
Yeah,
like that needs to be explained. Otherwise, that's definitely a plot hole in the entire series.
For sure. Yeah, no, definitely, because it doesn't make sense. They should have been decomposed, especially the ones from like 200 years ago. They should be mostly skeleton. Yeah,
definitely.
Mostly, if not all, skeleton.
Yes. There was a whole weird scene. So, James, the sheriff, his wife died 2 years prior, and she's one of the ones that comes back alive. Her name's Kate. He was like really pissed off, but then I was just like, all right, I get why you're concerned, but like also your wife's here, so why don't you like? That's a good thing, right? I don't know.
It was until later in the episode.
Yeah.
When his new wife with a baby was at home.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
That's
how much I've tuned out to the show already.
Dan, we watched a show called Glitch on Netflix.
Glitch. Oh yeah, naked muddy people. Ugh, what kind
Honestly, it was
of
weird.
nonsense are you looking up on Pornhub?
I wouldn't be shocked. Frickin' truckers love naked, muddy people.
I was talking about you, not Dan. Daniel. Is it
No,
Dan or Daniel?
it's not me. It's Dan. It's stupid trucker man is what it is.
Um, and then like, damn, just like a cold ending to that first episode. Like we just murdered like the only attractive person on the entire cast, which is that Italian guy.
Yeah.
Didn't speak a word of English, but he was there.
I know that's the other thing that got me, and Dan said it too. Glitch sounds interesting for this title or for this show, because when you said glitch, I was thinking something like in terms of like technology or like something like very 21st century, but it was very like old school and dead people rising. Like I don't understand the name behind the show, I guess, is like my whole thing.
So from what I understood just from watching the 2 episodes, there essentially was a glitch in like the world, essentially in the system that like everything is bound in the cosmic universe, right? So there was a glitch in that system that allowed these people to come back alive. Oh, I keep saying alive. I don't know why I'm not saying the correct words right now. So in that second episode, we kind of learn. So that was actually the series finale. Season 3, episode 6, I think it was the series finale. So they kind of explained a little bit, and I understood that essentially it was a glitch in the system, and by them coming back to the living side of things, it just threw everything off balance. And that's why like people were dying left and right. There was like all these natural disasters that were happening. Very interesting.
Yeah. So ending the first episode was
Zombie
interesting.
dust.
Yeah, it was zombie dust of like this escapee guy that I guess
Same with Carlos.
when he died originally, he was shot in the back by a guard. He turned into dust. The other cop that was following the main character, which was weird to me. It's like I didn't understand why he would have that incentive now to like follow him.
I think it's because he knew that he was lying about what happened at the cemetery, because he told I think his name was Charles, that it was just a bunch of kids that were messing around at the graveyard, and I think he got suspicious of that, because then he was at that point he had detained Carlos as well. So and that ruined my whole theory of it. Was I was thinking the last episode that we watched, I had this theory that they couldn't leave like a certain radius of where they died, and that's why Carlos died. I thought he had like crossed that boundary,
or he had gotten too close to where he died.
Maybe that was it.
That was my thinking as well. Was like he was running, or they were going towards brother's house to see if this 92-year-old man recognized his young kid brother, essentially.
Yeah.
And my theory was when his eyes started to bleed and he got out of the car and was like having all those issues, I figured that's where a building used to be, or like in that area where he actually did die originally. Maybe
that was it. But so then it ends with a horrible cliffhanger, which I say it was horrible because it's so overdone.
Yeah.
Another person is rising from the grave, and we don't know if that was Carlos or if it was maybe it was that 6th person that is mentioned in the
I don't
IMDb.
think it was Carlos. I looked and I didn't like not like I looked, but like I like from seeing it, it didn't look like Carlos.
Okay, fair. Definitely fair.
So I don't think it was him. I think it was just a new person, which probably was that 6th person that we didn't see until obviously the very end. But
definitely.
Moving on to the last episode, season 3, episode 6, the series finale, essentially. that fucking cold open again. So
that bitch running in the woods.
Oh my god. Common theme with this show, clearly based off of 2 episodes, is cold opens.
Yeah.
She is fucking running for her life.
They all are. Like, they all... So apparently James, who you think is going to be the protagonist, like the hero, the protagonist, thank you, turns out to be kind of like the series villain, because he wants to kill them all now. Mm-hmm. And at first I didn't understand it, but then as that episode kept going, I was like, oh no, it makes sense. He's right. They have to die. Yeah. But they don't want to because they have a second chance of life now. So I get it, but it kind of sucks.
Yeah, it was like really weird. It was really like, I mean, just from the cold open straight up, I mean, there was just so much going on. Like, you had to watch previous episodes because it just started in like the deepest of shit.
We had like, they kept saying like Alicia like shouldn't have brought you back, and I was like, who's Alicia?
And they spelled Alicia so wrong. I watched with so Andy and I both watched with closed captionings on. So anytime they said Alicia, it was Elishia.
There was a Y in there too.
Oh, maybe that was closed captioning messed up, because when I looked at description, it was there was no Y. So
weird.
Netflix closed captioning also, I've noticed, is very bad.
Very bad. Yeah, so the whole series finale is essentially like a witch hunt for all of these zombie mud people. Mm-hmm. And they essentially have to get them back to the graveyard so that they can kill them for good, essentially.
Yeah, there's like basically a reenactment of like the Australian wildfires happening. Mm-hmm. The world's like going to shit.
They brought back that girl who apparently her mom is the one that murdered her, like the Jesus mom, and like she wanders off into the woods and gets like eaten by bugs. Like, I don't know. I don't know what this. Really took a weird turn.
Was some like Jesus locust, frickin' when he sent down plagues kind of deal. Mm-hmm. Sidebar: how did they spell it, Dan? With an IA or with a Y? How did like? Because either way, it's wrong.
Yeah, it's a weird spelling of Alicia. I'm sorry if your name is spelled that way.
Yeah, it's either like, it's just a normal way, or it's like Alicia is how I've seen it, Alicia. Mm-hmm. Which seems pretty normal, and there's also Elisha, Alicia.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 ways. Oh yeah, see that's a normal way. It was with an I before the A, which was really weird.
I'm pretty sure there was a Y in there. I'm just saying.
Maybe in the closed captioning. Maybe in the closed captioning.
So messed up. So they all end up. Spoilers if you are gonna watch this show from 2019.
You shouldn't.
They all ended up back at the cemetery, and they all like have to like essentially walk into the fire and like kill themselves. Weird show. Fucking weird.
Weird show. Yeah.
Super strange. So with that, let's kind of go down. We'll kind of go through our grading system. Acting wise for the show.
Yeah.
What did you rate this?
I gave acting a 5.
Okay.
And let me explain the reasoning for that.
Okay.
I felt throughout both episodes, the starting and the finish, that it was just so forced. Like, It did not feel like it was genuine at all. And honestly, like, a 5 is being generous. I should have really given it like a 2. But
okay.
I was like, it's our first time rating. I just wanted to like set the bar, I guess.
Okay.
But
fair.
A 5 is generous of me because I felt like so much cringe watching this in terms of the acting, because honestly it felt like I was just watching like a really bad indie company in terms of like the like how they wrote the scripts and how they were cutting it too.
See, I feel like the members of the original cast from season one, I feel like they were better in season three than they were in the pilot of season one that we watched.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't care for, you could tell the people that were kind of new and they didn't really like vibe with the cast that well. So kind of for all those reasons, I also gave it a 5, but I still enjoyed it. Like to me, it wasn't enough to where it made me not want to keep watching.
Yeah,
Essentially, is what I'm saying.
I got you.
Plot. I skipped plot. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What did you rate plot?
I gave plot a 7.
Okay, same. So we're on the same page for like a lot of this show.
The
Actually.
plot, I feel like the plot would be so much better with better acting. Like I probably would have bumped
Okay.
the score if like because like I understood the plot. I could tell like how they wanted to do this series. I just feel like in terms of like maybe it was just the writing because
Okay.
because you said you gave plot a 7. I went down so going down to cast, I gave cast an 8 because it was a good
Okay.
cast. It was a good looking
Okay.
cast. Like the in terms of like fitting into the characters, they definitely fit into the characters for sure. But it was just the fact that like I feel like it was more the writing that was off and
Okay.
and like the directing too. Like there just was like a miscommunication between there because like
Fair.
there were times where like there was like this one specific scene that I remember where it's like I guess this sister and this like young girl who's all, like the other sister but like a lot younger that like came back from the dead at some point, like they were talking and like the older sister like cut herself off before the little girl started her line, and I was like
So it's
that
like
was
little
such a
things like that.
yeah, it was like such a clear cutoff point, but like they made it so obvious that she was supposed to get interrupted there.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
hate that when they stop talking before somebody cuts them off and you're like, okay, well,
and the thing is, it's like this isn't like a live play or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
could have done that take better. You could have done a lot of the takes better.
Okay, so I also gave it a 7. For me, I prefer when shows answer all of my questions about like who, what, where, when, and how in that first episode, so that we can like just really get into like a fucking crazy plot, essentially,
Yeah.
from that point forward. And for me, I feel like they really left a lot of plot holes in that first episode to where it kind of made me question the show and like if I was going to like it, rather than allowing me to make that decision like right off the bat in that
Right.
first pilot episode. So yeah, so I gave it a 7. I do think it is really interesting, and I definitely am leaning towards watching some more.
What'd you give cast? A 7?
Cass, I also gave a 7. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought they were pretty good. Not the greatest actors, but I mean, also like this is a show on ABC, so it's like
True. Like it wasn't produced by Netflix. It just got put on there after.
it wasn't a Shonda Rhimes show. You know what I mean? Like,
True. Shonda
we
Rhimes
didn't have
knows how
the
to.
Shonda budget,
Yeah. Shonda Rhimes knows how to run her shit.
and I wouldn't have been disappointed in the pilot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So final categories, cliffhangers throughout the series. Obviously we get a couple of them, like the at the end of the episode, but also like there's just some like throughout as well, especially through like the first episode. I gave it a 6.
Okay.
It was okay, but it was also like again, it kind of felt forced. It really didn't put me on the edge of my seat of like I want to keep watching this show, and I think that's why I stopped the first time, because I was just like, this looks really, really boring.
Fair. So I give it a 5, and my reasoning behind that was definitely they were like your stereotypical cliffhangers, like, oh, this man's coming out of the grave and we're gonna roll the credits, and it's like, okay, well, I've seen this before in like 50 other shows, so
Yeah.
it just was a little the cliffhangers were predictable. Essentially, you knew when it was gonna end.
Right. Definitely.
All right. So what was your total?
My total was 35 out of 50, and
Okay.
that comes out to 70% rating.
Sweet. So I had 33% or 33 points at 66% of likability for the show.
Okay.
So
our average comes out to 67 out of 100, so 67% rating.
Sweet. Okay. So based off of that, I mean, I would recommend at least watching the pilot episode and making your own decision.
It's an above average show, but it's not top of the list.
Exactly. 100% agree.
Yeah. So there's our thoughts.
Yeah, buddy.
Kind of okay. You watch it for yourself, I guess.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was an average show.
It was pretty average. Was that like a D minus? A 67, or is that just fail? I guess it depends on your grading scale, but
that would be a D, a solid D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast on any of your favorite podcast listening platforms, be sure to hit the like, follow, subscribe, all those fun things, and let us know what you think if you've watched the show, or if you want to watch it. Good luck.
Yeah.
I hope you like it more than we do, because we did not.
Definitely. And if you did watch it, let us know. You can comment on any of our videos and let us know what you think.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next time. Like I said at the beginning, we are going to start live streaming on Facebook. So be sure to head over to Facebook, hit the like button on our page, and follow it so that way you get notifications. Also on Instagram and Twitter, My Village Podcast. You can follow me personally at Sticky Toaster.
Yep, and you can follow me personally at MVP Andy.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
All right, bye everybody.